Star Trek Discovery Season 4 confirmed what happened to Q, John Delancey, and the other omnipotent beings like him in the 32nd century. In Discovery Season 4, Captain Michael Burnham, Sonequa Martin Green, and her crew faced a devastating new threat to the galaxy dubbed the Dark Matter Anomaly, DMA. Solving the mystery of the DMA became an imminent crisis, and Starfleet and the United Federation of Planets had to consider whether the Q continuum could be the cause of the gravimetric anomaly. Although Q has been causing trouble for the Federation since his debut in the premiere episode of Star Trek, The Next Generation, creating something like the DMA would have been very out of character for Q. After his debut in Star Trek, The Next Generation, Q took an immediate liking to Captain Jean-Luc Picard, Patrick Stewart. The omnipotent being tormented Picard and the crew of the USS Enterprise D throughout TNG's 7-season run. After appearing in one episode of Star Trek, Deep Space Nine and 3 of Star Trek, Voyager, Q vanished from Star Trek, until his long-awaited return in Star Trek, Picard Season 2. Now visibly older despite being immortal, Q promised Jean-Luc that his trial never ends, and it's Q's meddling that enabled Picard Season 2's alternate reality/time travel story. Although Q didn't return for the main storyline of Picard Season 3, he did pop up in a post-credit scene during Star Trek, Picard Season 3 finale to check in on Picard's son, Jack Crusher, Ed Speleers. What Star Trek Discovery Season 4 revealed about Q? The Q may not have created the DMA, but where have they been for 600 years? In Star Trek Discovery Season 4, Episode 5, The Examples, Admiral Charles Vance, Oded Fehr, reveals that the Federation has had no contact with the Q continuum for 600 years. Discovery Season 4 is set in the year 3190, so 600 years places the last known contact with Q in the 2500s. Star Trek Picard Seasons 2 and 3 are set at the dawn of the 2400s, the 25th century, so Vance isn't referencing Discovery's sister series. Going by Vance's history lesson, Q maintained some kind of contact with the Federation well after the events of Picard, which could lead to more Q-centered Star Trek episodes. Once the Federation determined that the DMA was not a naturally occurring cosmic phenomenon but was, in fact, a construct of some sort, Starfleet had to consider which godlike beings they had encountered would have the power to make a weapon that massive and powerful. However, Admiral Vance was quick to rule out the Q as the culprit behind the DMA, and he's correct to point out that building something like the anomaly to attack the Alpha Quadrant isn't Q's style. Vance classified the creators of the DMA as unknown species 10C, and the Discovery crew later determined that they came from outside of the known galaxy. How Picard and Star Trek Legacy could lead to Q's disappearance. Future Q appearances could loop back around to connect with Q's Picard Season 2 death. After Q sent Admiral Picard on a time-traveling quest to confront his past, the omnipotent being supposedly died after sharing a heartfelt moment with Jean-Luc. Never one to stay down for long, however, Q returned in a post-credit scene in Star Trek Picard Season 3's finale to tell Jack Crusher that while Jean-Luc's trial may be over, Jack's is only just beginning. Q's interest in Jack suggests that he will return if Star Trek Legacy ever becomes a reality, and that show could offer an explanation for why the Q continuum disappears sometime after the 25th century.